Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton, and today's record is Waylon Jennings, Old Waylon. This was released in April of 1977 on the RCA label, and this became one of Waylon Jennings' biggest selling albums. And of course, it was helped along by the enormous success of the single opening track on the album, Lukenbach, Texas. Back to the Basics of Love, which was one of his biggest hits. This was his fourth album in a row to reach the top of the country charts, and it stayed at the top for almost 13 weeks. And it became country music's first platinum album by a single artist. And so, in 1977, just a little bit of history, Waylon was enjoying one of his biggest times, both commercially and critically. He had two #1 albums in a row, Dreaming My Dreams and Are You Ready for the Country? And also an album that I've talked about a little bit, Wanted the Outlaws. Now, kind of a compilation album, but it featured Willie, Tom Paul Glaser, and Jessie Coulter, Waylon's wife. And it was a big, huge selling album. And that outlaw movement had started to really gain some traction by then. These guys that were getting away from the traditional sort of Nashville sound and was doing kind of things their own way, which became known as outlaw music. And so by the early 70s, Waylon was allowed by RCA to make his own records. And so he became kind of in stride with that whole outlaw movement. Albums like Lonesome, Ornery, and Mean, Honky Tonk Heroes. He had won the CMA Country Music Association Award for Vocalist of the Year, and was just on a roll with a lot of big hits. And so this album was sort of the combination of all of that. But he was doing a little bit. He had done some Elvis songs on here. That's All Right Mama. His version of Sweet Caroline. This is Getting Funny, but There Ain't Nobody Laughing. Satin Sheets. This album just was a breakthrough album in so many ways for Waylon Jennings. And fans of that outlaw movement, Waylon just didn't have a lot of really interest in he was wanting to buck the trends. And I mean, there's stuff like the CMA is Watching, and like the cover of the album, Austin, Texas is 80 miles from Lukenbach. To put this on the cover of his album with the sort of, I don't need the money, but I'll take it. Where's the nipper? A bit of a dig at his own label. And so Waylon was definitely, getting away from, he was not interested in just like, I'm gonna kiss people's butts and just make music that they want to hear. I'm gonna do my own thing. Of course, the album does feature Willie Nelson, Lukenbach, Texas. It also has the Muscle Shoals horn section on it. So a really solid band. Waylon's touring band, touring group, who he was kind enough to feature on the back cover here. Of course, his wife Jessie Coulter. He was able to use a lot of his people, and he was surrounded by folks, and reap the rewards from that. And so, Old Waylon, probably the best combination of Waylon's commercial apex. And produced no less by Mr. Chips Moman, who I can't fail to mention here. Chips just was a hit maker in his own right, and worked a lot with these guys, including Willie Nelson and people like Elvis. So Chips Moman name shows up on a lot of hit records around this time. And so, just one of the great producers. So today's Daily Record, Old Waylon by Waylon Jennings. And of course, Waylon has that big, nice country burly voice, just a quintessential country singer. Full display on this album, so check it out. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75. I love hearing from you guys, interacting, comment, share, subscribe, like, all of that good stuff. But in the meantime, check out my other channel. It's a regular VC channel. I go into more depth and detail on those channels and the videos there. But in the meantime, I'll see you all again tomorrow with another Daily Record.